Every day, Smarties factories produce over 70,000 pounds of candy, the equivalent of 2 full-size school buses. That scale runs non-stop, day and night, across 2 factories in the US and Canada. But these aren't poured or baked. They're compressed, using more force than a truck tire rolling over concrete. You can crush one with 2 fingers. But to make it, factories use pharmaceutical-grade presses. No heat, no molds, just dry powder and pressure. Why go through all that trouble for a chalky little candy that costs just 20 cents? Smarties were born in 1949 in a repurposed gunpowder factory in New Jersey. Edward D., a British immigrant and former pharmacist, saw a future in candy, but he didn't follow the chocolate trend. Instead, he used a pill press to shape sugar into small, pastel-colored discs. The result was lightweight, portable, shelf-stable, and perfect for the post-war American market. Over 70 years later, Smarties are still made the same way, in the same family-run company. They've never melted, never needed refrigeration, and never gone out of style. Now, let's see how it all works, step by step. Every Smarties roll starts with a dry blend of just 5 ingredients. Sugar, citric acid, calcium stearate, flavoring, and food coloring. Nothing is liquid. That's what makes Smarties so unique. No syrups, no melting, just dry, shelf-stable powder. Each batch is mixed in a rotating drum under the watch of experienced operators. The flavor determines the color: cherry for red, pineapple for yellow, and so on. Even a tiny amount of coloring goes a long way. Computers monitor the ratios, but there's still a human eye on every batch. Workers check that the blend is consistent and dry, because if it clumps or holds moisture, it won't press correctly. Once mixed, the powder is sent through pipes to the tablet press room. It's light, loose, and perfectly uniform, ready to be shaped by force, not by heat. Inside the tablet room, Smarties are formed by compression, not cooking. Powder drops into a rotary press that was originally designed for making pills, not candy. Each machine delivers tons of pressure per punch, compacting the dry mix into flat, round tablets. There's no binder, no water, no glaze, just powder and pressure. This process happens fast. Thousands of tablets are pressed every minute. But it only works if the force is perfectly calibrated. Too much, and the candy cracks. Too little, and it falls apart in the wrapper. Operators monitor every run closely, because once a batch starts rolling, there's no pause button. At full speed, the machines don't forgive mistakes. When done right, the result is simple. A solid, chalky disc that's instantly recognizable, surprisingly strong, and ready to roll, literally. After pressing, the tablets are sorted by color into large hoppers: red, yellow, green, purple, orange, and white. Each hopper feeds into a rotating drum, where tablets tumble together and mix. The assortment looks random, but it's calculated to give every roll a balance of flavor and color. Sensors reject any chipped or broken tablets before they reach the wrapping stage. Only smooth, intact pieces continue forward. There's no extra coating, no shine added later. The color you see was mixed in from the very first step. This process preserves the candy's matte finish and classic feel. It may seem chaotic, but this part of the factory runs on rhythm and repetition. When everything flows just right, the rolls begin to take shape. The wrapped rolls are the signature of Smarties. Each group of about 15 tablets is fed into a forming machine, then wrapped in wax paper with both ends twisted shut. That crinkly paper isn't just nostalgic. It protects the tablets from moisture and damage, and gives Smarties their unmistakable sound when opened. The wrapping lines are fast. At full capacity, they can produce more than 60,000 rolls per hour. It's speed with precision, and workers keep close watch for jams or misfeeds. Once wrapped, the rolls are dropped into buckets and moved to the packing line. Here, automated arms sort them into plastic bags based on weight. Each bag is heat-sealed, labeled, and inspected. Then comes the final step: boxing. Bags are loaded into cardboard cartons by robotic systems that stack them tightly with no wasted space. Every box is bar-coded, sealed, and ready for shipping. Smarties are made with pharmaceutical precision. But what about fried chicken? What if your favorite chicken finger never touches a freezer? At Raising Cane's, that's not a gimmick. It's the standard. No frozen meat, no seasoning packets, no heat lamps. Just fresh chicken, hand-cut every day, dipped in flour, fried to order, and served hot, thousands of times per store, per day. Raising Cane's is no longer just a cult favorite. It's a national contender. In 2021, it ranked 33rd on Technomic's list of top U.S. restaurant chains. By 2024, it had climbed to 18th place, officially surpassing KFC. So how did a brand built on just chicken fingers end up beating the Colonel at his own game? Let's take a closer look. In 1996, Todd Graves opened the first Raising Cane's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with one product, chicken fingers. He named it after his dog. The concept was rejected by banks and professors, but the idea worked. By focusing on quality, speed, and consistency, Cane's grew from a local spot into a coast-to-coast chain. Today, with over 750 locations, they still serve the same 5-item menu and still prep every piece of chicken by hand. At Raising Cane's, chicken is delivered fresh, never frozen. Each shipment arrives chilled and goes straight to the prep station. The chicken breasts are trimmed and sliced by hand into long, even strips. No machines are used. Staff rely on feel, not measurements, to get the right texture. This hands-on step ensures each piece cooks evenly and stays juicy on the inside. It's a slow method, but it's why Cane's chicken never feels overprocessed. Once sliced, the chicken goes into a simple soak of milk, salt, black pepper, and onion powder. No chemicals, no marinades, just pantry ingredients. The milk tenderizes the meat while helping it retain moisture during frying. Soaking lasts for several hours to let the flavors set in. Meanwhile, a separate team prepares the flour, seasoned, sifted, and ready to coat each strip right before it hits the fryer. Every strip is dipped in flour by hand, then fried in oil set precisely at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. No machines flip or lower the basket. It's done by trained staff. The fryers are calibrated to time each batch, but cooks still use thermometers and visual checks to confirm doneness and moisture retention. Can you really tell the difference between fresh and frozen chicken? That soft pull in the center, that tiny bit of spring, is exactly what gives it away. Oil at Cane's isn't just reused until it looks dark. It's filtered constantly, using a magnetic system that clears out crumbs and impurities. Even with filtering, the oil is fully replaced every 4 hours, whether it looks clean or not. This keeps flavor sharp and texture consistent. The result is a golden crust that's crisp, clean, and never heavy with grease, no matter how busy the kitchen gets. Fresh out of the fryer, the chicken rests just long enough to drain excess oil. Then it's packed hot, alongside toast, fries, slaw, and sauce. There are no heat lamps or holding bins. Each box is built to order and served within 10 minutes of frying. The packaging is vented to prevent sogginess. And with some stores serving over 1,200 meals a day, that speed has to stay rock solid. Chicken fingers are made to be eaten fresh, but what about something that stays crunchy for months? Ruffles aren't like regular potato chips. They're cut in waves, fried in motion, and packed with gas, not air. That signature ridged shape isn't for style. It's structural engineering. Because what keeps a Ruffles chip from breaking isn't just the oil, it's physics. Ruffles were first introduced in the 1950s by a man named Bernhard Stammer, who believed ridges made chips taste better. PepsiCo later bought the brand and scaled production globally. The ridged shape wasn't just a gimmick. It made the chip stronger, held dip better, and created a crunchier bite. Today, Ruffles are made in over a dozen countries with localized flavors, but the core production method stays the same: cut with curves, fried with flow, sealed with science. Production starts with carefully selected potatoes, usually white-fleshed, low-starch varieties like those grown in Idaho or Wisconsin. The potatoes are scrubbed in rotating tanks with high-pressure water jets that remove dirt, eyes, and skin imperfections. Once cleaned, they're sorted by size. Only medium potatoes with dense texture are used. Too large and they break during slicing, too small and the cut becomes uneven. The signature Ruffles cut comes from a custom blade that oscillates while spinning, creating evenly spaced ridges in every slice. Each blade spins at high speed, slicing hundreds of potatoes per minute while maintaining the same depth and curvature. The waves aren't just for looks. They increase surface area, help the chip hold its shape, and let oil cook the edges faster for extra crunch. This step is so precise that a damaged blade can cause thousands of chips to be discarded. The raw slices enter a long, curved fryer filled with hot oil, held steady around 375 degrees Fahrenheit. The chips move through the oil in a slow, tumbling wave, preventing them from sticking or folding over themselves. They're fried for less than 3 minutes, but that motion matters. It's what keeps them flat, crisp, and strong enough to survive the bag. Have you ever crushed a bag of Ruffles just to sprinkle them on a sandwich? That crunch isn't just satisfying, it's engineered to last. Once out of the oil, the chips pass through an air tunnel to remove excess heat, then into a rotating drum where seasoning is applied. Flavor powders are sprayed with a fine mist of oil to help them stick, whether it's classic salted or something more complex like cheddar and sour cream. The drums rotate just enough to coat without breaking. Timing matters here. Turn too fast, and the chips shatter. Too slow, and the flavor clumps. Only when evenly coated are the chips cleared for packaging. The chips drop into bags that are immediately filled with nitrogen, not just to preserve freshness, but to cushion the chips during shipping. Each bag is weighed to the gram, sealed with heat, and pressure tested for leaks. The air inside isn't extra, it's protection. That puff you feel when opening a bag? It's what keeps the chips whole. A single line can fill over 300,000 bags per day, and every one of them is designed to feel like the first crunch. A tiny candy made like a pill. A chicken finger prepared like a handcrafted meal. A potato chip engineered for structural integrity. Three products you've probably eaten without thinking twice. Yet each one is built with more precision, more care, and more invisible complexity than most people ever realize. From compressed sugar to hand-cut chicken to ridged slices cooked in motion, these aren't just snacks. They're systems. Timed, measured, repeated thousands of times a day, with almost no room for error. Because in the world of mass production, taste isn't just about ingredients. It's about process. If you've made it this far, you now know more than most people ever will about what's really behind your everyday favorites. And this is just the beginning. Subscribe to Captain Discovery and keep exploring the secrets inside the things you thought you already knew.